January 23rd. Ask me anything. We're streaming on a few platforms. Takes a sec just to get everything queued up. All right. I think we are everywhere we need to be. Let's do an audio check. Make sure it sounds okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Awesome. Well, welcome. It's been a busy day. Yeah, I'd love to hear some of your questions. For those of you who haven't met me yet, hi, I'm Kevin. You can put your question in any of the live stream chat windows. It'll pop through. You can text me. My phone number is on all my headers of all my different sites. Definitely time for anything that's on your mind. Even if it's just let's get to know each other a little bit better. Couple things that I wanted to chat with. Yeah, busy day. I had a closing today, which was awesome. On my profile, you'll see that there was a Provo property that I was representing. So got that all sold and moved on to the next owner. It's always kind of bittersweet when family members and friends and really anybody has to sell a place, and just think of like all the memories there. I knew about this home since middle school for me. I'm good friends with the owner, and so just remembering all the times there of middle school and on. Lots of good memories. So it's sometimes that bittersweet to see homes move to their next owners. Let's see. Did y'all see that the Gateway is for sale? Literally, the Gateway up in downtown Salt Lake. There's the Gateway Mall. It's about 20 point. Let's see exactly how it's 20 acres. The entire Gateway is listed for sale. They have not advertised a price, which is interesting because you wonder how much something 20 acres downtown Salt Lake would go for. I imagine would be high millions. I don't know if it would quite touch a billion, but that's a pretty hefty lot of land. So it's going to be interesting to see if a new owner eventually develops it into something different. We've just got the new hockey league that has been starting. Is something like that going to take its place? Or would a new owner just take it over and continue doing it as an outdoor mall? Only time will tell, so it should be interesting to see. I also wanted to give a shout out to the maker of this shirt. So I am a huge fan of anything ocean, anything nature. Especially love the ocean. I used to have a saltwater aquarium. Literally like a huge 200-gallon one. I had a whole room in my basement that had all the filter pumps, all the refugiums, all the everything down there. So I especially love saltwater ocean. I'm not a scuba diver though. Part of it is I know what's down there, so I have no desire to go exploring down there. But this shirt, I got turned on to it by Jenny. She bought me a couple as a gift. This is a store located in Cannon Beach, Oregon, Salty Raven. And they have a ton of different designs that they put on shirts, that they put on mugs, all sorts of stuff, prints. And I just love it. So I've bought a whole bunch of their shirts, probably way too many. Looks like that's probably the artist there. And I've been to their storage, so just really cool. They've got some turtle stuff, dandelion, on and on and on. Definitely check them out. Salty Raven, really cool, small business cruising on the Oregon coast. I went there the first time I'd gone to Cannon Beach and just thought it was a really cool place. I love Cannon Beach now. It's one of my favorite spots. I need to try and get out there again soon. It's a little cold, so I don't love that part. So hopefully more sun to come. Let's see. All right. So in a lot of my social media and my newsletter, like my emails, my website, I've been talking a lot this month about finding your community. Is kind of a good way I've got to describe it, and I've put a blog post out to kind of dig into this a little bit more. But it's kind of that idea of, you want to find someone and somewhere who supports you, allows you to be your authentic self through the journey of housing. That can already be such a complicated thing. It's best to just have somebody who's right there with you. So thought I'd share a couple unique things. So I kind of called it out as like the truth about Salt Lake City. There's a lot of people are surprised when they hear that Salt Lake City is very LGBTQ plus friendly. Um, it's been named like the gayest city in the USA, and some stats put it really, the high population of queer folks. Not obvious. It's like proportionately compared to other populations. Salt Lake City itself had, the Jackie as the first openly gay mayor in 2015, which was awesome. We have a street named Harvey Milk Boulevard to celebrate Harvey Milk. So lots of queer friendly stuff. I'm a part of the LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce. There's so much out there, so much happening. Um, some of the neighborhoods that you see a lot of kind of queer folks reside in is either like the Marmalade District. If you're not familiar with where this is, so Capitol Hill, it's just a little west of it. It's still on the east side of the freeway. It's kind of a little sliver right there. Um, Homes, a lot of condos in that area, a lot of apartments. Not a ton of single family homes. Those that are there, they go for a high dollar, and they're older homes, early 1900s, because it's an older area. But there's a lot of other smaller stuff, smaller items that are available too. Capitol Hill, we all kind of know where that is, right where the Capitol is. Also, this is kind of the Avenues area. A lot of unique homes there. Sugar House, that's a big community space if you're not familiar with the area. I love Sugar House Park. It's huge. When you go there on a summer day, I think I haven't counted, but I would bet there's easily sometimes 200 to 300 people hanging out in the park. There's a big loop that a lot of people jog, bike. They've got their kids in strollers. Really great community area, tons of grass. Downtown Salt Lake is another big popular area. A lot of that, you get small apartments in high rises, sometimes some townhomes, depending where you go. Ogden's got a lot of options, Cottonwood Heights, Park City. Um, the other thing I thought was relevant to kind of talk about, because everybody, not necessarily everybody, but a lot of concerns for first-time home buyers are price. And even somebody who's looking to sell and buy a new home, price, price, price. what does 500,000 actually get you in some of these areas? So, downtown, a nice condo. Sugar House, a small bungalow that needs some updates. Those homes are a little bit more there. Same with Capitol Hill, an older home with some character, likely needs some love, or it's a well maintained condo. If you step out further, like West Valley or other suburbs, I'm in West Jordan and I'm out here about 4800 West. Um, you get much more square footage. It's usually newer construction, but it's less walkable, not quite as much of a community feel, but there is some there. There's also, some great resources. Utah Pride Center, Equality Utah, Encircle, Stonewall Sports, and then the Utah LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce. So a lot of kind of cool stuff there. The other thing that I thought would be great to kind of show you is some homes uh, that are going for these prices to kind of see what these different areas actually look like. Hey, Nicole, welcome. So I randomly grabbed just a few kind of like MLS listings, home listings, to kind of show you what this about $500,000 looks like. So some of these may be under contract, some of them may be active. It's been about a week since I've pulled these. This one, yeah, is now under contract. So this is a home in American Fork. You can see pretty good size. I mean, that island is massive, not even pretty good size, it's huge. Uh, Pretty modern, refreshed kitchen, pretty newer construction, maybe early 2000s, late 90s. Bathrooms have been refreshed. So American Fork is, a little bit away from any big central populated areas. Hot tub, love it. Um, yeah, let's look at the stats on this one. So, built in 2016. It is part of an HOA. Let's see here. Property size. So this is a total of 1,900 square feet. So that's a pretty good size home for most folks. So something like that, 3 bed, 3 bath. Sometimes you could convert another room to a fourth bed or maybe even a fifth bed and 3 bath. A lot of options there. But when we compare that to, let's see, I found this one in West Valley. So West Valley is actually one of the biggest cities in Utah. So they've got a wide range of new construction that's super modern, high end. My brokerage actually is doing a 55 plus retirement community in West Valley called Heather on Parkway. Brand new construction. It's kind of in the intersection of 80 and Mountain View Corridor. So it's a little further west, but it's pretty quiet out there. There's not much around. But it's easily accessible to downtown, to all these other areas, because it's right near those freeway intersections. So this home, again, about 500,000 is where we're sitting. 2,600 square feet. So this is a good bit bigger. Now it was built in '63, so it's a touch older. But when we look through the photos here, I mean, this is still a really nice home. It looks well maintained. They've got nice cabinets here, tile flooring. Looks like some laminate or maybe even some hardwood flooring. Blue carpet, that's always my favorite. So that's going to be an older carpet, probably time to be swapped out. But these rooms, where they do have carpet, they may even have this hardwood underneath. So that could be an easy update. Uh, Often we saw, big fireplaces like this with lots of either stone or brick or something. There's a lot you can do to make this feel a little more modern, kind of freshen it up. And a blue toilet, love it. So kind of compared to that American Fork house, West Valley homes can be a little bit bigger. They can be a little cheaper for that price or for that size, but they may not be like perfectly updated and super fresh. There are going to be some West Valley properties that are. Those may be a little bit more higher in price, but you still have tons of options in that regard. Let's look at Eagle Mountain. Do y'all even know where Eagle Mountain is? So you probably know where Saratoga Springs is. Keep going west. It's essentially like on the other side of those mountains that are on the far side of Utah Lake. So clear over there. It is still considered Utah County. But this home I found, oh, it's not available anymore. Okay, I'm going to log in to the back end here. Pause for a sec. Log in. It might have sold, but I can still pull up the details and share that with you. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Okay, so this one was actually canceled, so it was pulled off the market. But this home, was originally listed around 515, sitting around 495 when they've pulled it off. 3,000 square foot. So this is a pretty good sized house. Substantially large. 5 bed, 2 bath, family room, formal living room, kitchen, laundry, and I'm sure there's tons of space to maybe put another kitchen in the basement. Tons of options. This is a drive though, so if you're going out to Eagle Mountain, this is quite a ways. But this is look at this yard. It's all manicured. Nice looking home, decently taken care of. Kind of a front formal room. This looks like late 90s, I'm guessing, for build date, but you've got like this low vault ceiling. Might not hurt to change that chandelier and freshen that up a touch. Great kitchen. Some of us love those quartz or granite countertop. Easy to swap those out. Maybe a bigger island. I like my island. Mine's a little bigger. But you can see these large rooms, like this living room. You've got 2 windows, 2 large couches, end to end. So this is a pretty good sized room. Same with this. This might be the primary bedroom. I imagine that's a king. That's a good sized bed, and you still have tons of space. Yeah, I think it is, because here you've got the ensuite. So you've got a little bit of wearing on that cabinet. That's normal. Either some fresh paint or hey, maybe it's time to swap out a cabinet. That looks like a really deep bathtub. Interesting. Okay. Bassinet. So this must be like a TV room or maybe a nursing room or something. Probably a kid's room. So yeah, you can see with this home, like, it's in pretty darn great shape. You've got some unfinished areas I saw in the other photo. Yep. So yeah, if this was finished, um, looks like they've got kind of an office situation going on over there. You've probably got enough room for another large living room, a large bedroom. Yep, they've got storage. Yeah, tons of flexible space here. Lots of things you could work with. Hey Rafa, welcome. Let me grab, so let's compare that to Holiday. Oh, I remember this one now. This one's actually super cool. So Holiday is over on the east side. This place has an incredible view. It's now under contract, but it's only 1,800 square feet, so it's a good bit smaller. And I think it was, sorry, let me check the build date real quick. 72, so it's a touch older. But look at this. You're sitting like almost like you're in the mountains. This is incredible. When I came across this one, I was just like, wow, I would take this one. I think it's technically a condo, so you don't have the whole building. You have a portion of it. But look, you park right there. That is your view. There's nothing higher. Now, look at this. That's your other view. This is your deck looking out across the valley. Yeah, that's incredible. I imagine sunsets here would be amazing. So now when we come inside, okay, this is a view from the windows. Same, you can see, I think that's Murray, kind of the Murray Hospital area. But yeah, that'd be incredible. Nice updated interior. You've got a fresher carpet. I saw some LVP it looked like on the flooring. A little office area. See, much smaller kind of dining area, but big enough for most families. Galley kitchen. So you've got some counter space over here, counter space here, a little bit in the middle there. Um, some up there above the dishwasher. So, you know, decent space if you cook much. Here, yeah, you're buying this place for that view. That's absolutely incredible. Got a pretty large room down here. That's kind of funny though. Let me go back. So you've got this big old room. In the corner is a chair, a fake plant sitting next to it, and a little table with another fake plant. I feel like that's staged and they just didn't want to leave it empty, but you know, we all make different choices, and that's okay. Uh, just kind of odd to see such a huge room and then just that couple little pieces. Yeah, nice countertops. Looks like the carpet's in good shape. The walls, like, yeah, this would be a great place to live. Yeah, I would love those views every day. Let's see here. I did find a new construction up in Bountiful. So Bountiful has a lot of new construction pockets, and then they've got some really older pockets too. Okay, so this one's still active. 1,500 square feet, so good size. It's split over 3 different levels, and it's a townhome. But look at how modern this is. Like that looks cool to me. Some people don't love the modern look, and that's okay. Um, this is futuristic, right? Jetsons kind of stuff. So you've got some nice flooring, nice big windows, big island there in the kitchen, nice big cabinets. Oh, I love that subway tile in the back there. Yeah, really modern, really sleek. This is, I think, built in 2024, so it's not very old at all. This might even be the model that they've, you know, staged and been using to kind of compare the other units for, and they may all be sold, and now it's time to sell the model. Oh, I love it. The bow tie on the toilet. Please don't use me. Oh, that's great. Yeah, your bedrooms got a little bit of a view. You're up off the ground. Look at that, seeing the mountain right out your window. Probably get a lot of good morning sun on this home. Yeah, I'd almost put a little chair or something right in front of that sliding glass door to, morning coffee, morning breakfast in the sun. Yeah, so kind of showing you all these different ones. I just wanted to point out there are tons of different options for, a pretty reasonable for most folks price point. Interest rates right now, I see a lot of lenders sharing with me that interest rates are sitting right below 6%, so high fives, which is great. That makes things so much more affordable. This was one I found in Harriman. So this was built in 21, so newer, 2400. So Harriman, you usually get a little bit bigger homes. When you get closer to Daybreak, those are usually townhomes or condos a little bit smaller. But further out in kind of true Daybreak, you get a lot of good size homes. But it is a little bit of a distance. Going from here to the U, sometimes in traffic, that can be an hour. I've made that trek. I had some clients that bought in Harriman last year, or no, year before last, and for them, they stay in South Jordan, Daybreak area, so perfect for them. But yeah, newer home, kind of craftsman style. Yeah, really modern kitchen, LVP flooring it looks like. Shaker cabinets, quartz countertops, walk-in shower in the primary it looks like. Two-car garage, yeah. I imagine this one's part of an HOA as well. I love when they show the floor plans. That just helps piece everything together. Let's see here. HOA. Oh, too far. Yep, 117 a month. HOA amenities. Looks like just to maintain a playground and snow removal. Those are usually the best types of HOA. You usually don't have crazy Karens, crazy Chads who are dictating about every little weed in your yard or the color of the door or things like that. Smaller HOAs like this really just focus on what the community needs to pay for together, like snow removal as example, or that playground, and not worry about everything else. I could be wrong. Whenever we look at buying a place that does have an HOA, we have a period of time called due diligence where we get all the rules of the HOA, all the financials, everything to really get a good sense of what the HOA is like and make sure that it's a good fit for you. Let's talk a little bit about stats and kind of see where we're sitting here. So average days on market across the entire market, we're sitting right now at 78 for residential. If I change to Salt Lake County, 67. So we're actually speeding up a little bit. We had 630 sales in the last month. Now, if we look at Utah County, 73, so a little slower. Do we have Davis? Yep, 63. I also have, let's do a little bit deeper dive. Some market statistics, Salt Lake County, let's start there. Okay, average days on market, load up. So Q1 we're sitting about 66, so we've been trending a little bit higher. Usually what we see though, kind of going from Q1 to Q2, is a pretty significant drop. So we see that here and here, see that here and here over the last few years. That's that normal spring rush. People have been stuck inside their homes for the winter and are itching to move. Everything is showing that that's on track to happen again this year. I'm gonna have a little snack while we chat. What is kind of interesting to know, a lot of sellers want to wait to kind of get the best price for their home. Usually we find these lower days on market times, this late springtime, is usually when you get the most and kind of best competition, you get the highest price for your home. I have, I think, 4 homes lined up that are going to hit the market either late February or early March. That's exactly what we're aiming for. Now, there's the risk, right? Political stuff is crazy right now. Everything's changing every day. The whole thing could fall apart tomorrow. Based on trending, though, Utah's pretty isolated from a lot of the political stuff, excluding like interest rates. We have a good job market. We have solid fundamentals. So really, if you're looking to sell, now's the time to be preparing. So these 4 clients that I'm working with, they're taking care of some last minute fix-ups, fresh coat of paint in certain areas, tidying up, decluttering, deep cleaning. Those are some of the keys that make selling a home for top dollar work really well. Now active listings, so this is how many homes come on the market. If you'll notice, Q1 to Q2 we usually increase. Q1 to Q2, and here we're sitting at Q1. So there's 2 things happening here. Not only are we having more homes for sale in that second quarter, they're moving faster. So you've got kind of a double effect happening in that regard. That's really what drives, a bit of competition, bit of price. Right now it's great for buyers. If you can get in before that competition, before that rush, usually we're seeing sellers, provide some concessions to help with the purchase price, sometimes a price reduction. You saw some of those homes that we looked at today. They've sat on the market for 2 months. Whereas once we get into spring, 1 month and stuff is gone. This also shows kind of median price. So Q1 to Q2, we go up. Q1 to Q2, we go up. Q1 to Q2, we go up. And if you even look at this, so 560 to essentially 600,000, 40,000 more dollars just for waiting a couple months to sell your home. That's quite a change. Let's see, this one 550 to 589. That's pretty close to the same. 540 to 574. Yeah. If you're considering selling or wanting to move, let's have a chat. Let's just see what the numbers look like. No pressure, no sales pitch. My philosophy in working with clients is truly what's best for you, what's in your best interest. Sometimes that even means foregoing my own interest. Got to do what's best for you. That's what'll make this work. For those of you in Utah County, kind of our other largest county, we're going to see a lot of the same stuff. Just the numbers will be a little different. So average days on market, 59 to 51 that year. 60 to 42, so that's a pretty good drop. 65 to 54, great. We're sitting at 76, so we're going to see a tick down again. So Utah County's a little slower. Let's see how many homes are available. Yep, Q1 to Q2, we jump up. Q1 to Q2, we jump up. Q1 to Q2, we jump up. We're likely going to hop up again. Median list price, 528 to 540. So that's about a 10,000 K jump. 519, so essentially 520 to 550, 30K jump. That's great. 530 to 550, another 20K jump. Yeah. The other times during the year, great to sell too. You know, everybody's situation is different, but if you can hit that time in the spring, lots of good stuff happening. All right, let's see if we've got any questions coming through. Let's see, double check everywhere. Oh, question. Where's Robbie? Robbie's my husband. He is actually in a, oh, what is it? What do you call it? Oh my gosh. Like a, oh my gosh, what do you call it? I'm totally drawing a blank. Oh, a tournament. He's in a card game tournament. So hopefully he's having a good time and winning some money. We've been married, gosh, 2 years, about 2.5 years now. Been together for about 8 years. So you'll obviously see him on my profile. Yeah, kind of fun. Husbands. Let's see what else. If you could buy the Gateway, would you? I would say if the price is right, that not a bad piece of land to own at all. So if I could afford it, which I don't know that I could, absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, I do have a couple upcoming events. So I've got an open house at a West Point property. The address is going to be announced soon. So February 6th, 4 p.m., February 7th at 12. Actually, that should be 10. I think that got entered in wrong. Double check. 4, 7, yeah. That should be 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I will have to hop in and fix that. Yeah, so this is going to be a newly listed property. It's been well taken care of. It's in one of the best neighborhoods I've seen in West Point. It's near the Point Shopping Center, if you're familiar with the area. And then I do also have an in-person coffee chat coming up. I do need some suggestions on which coffee shop we should go to. This is just kind of like what today is, informal. Let's have coffee or snack on me. Usually have a couple people show up and just talk about whatever's going on in life, in real estate, whatever makes sense. And then our next Ask Me Anything live stream will be end of February. Let's see, what else did I have here? I think we saw the blog. I've got another blog post coming out in just a couple days. So that should be good stuff as well. Let me fix that to 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Ta-da! All right, let's see what other questions we've got. Okay, this is a fun question. Trying to think of the name of it. So the question is kind of like, what are the design trends that you hate? um, Grays. I like a little bit of gray, but there was a big fad of like concrete countertops, really gray flooring, gray carpet, gray paint. It just got overwhelming. Like I have LVP, and it is a gray in more in the gray spectrum, but it has some browns in there, so it's a little more earthy. Um, my paint color, it might be hard to tell. It's actually called polar bear, so it's like polar bear fleece. So it's got a touch of yellow in it, but then the doors and trim are just bright white. So that way you kind of get an offset, but they're pretty close in color, so it's not too overwhelming. That's one that I didn't care for. Um, Barn doors. We were talking about this the other day. Barn doors, I think they started as a fad, as a luxury item. You know, how cool is it that this door is like on the outside and it slides? Uh, Now it feels like anymore they're just awkward and they're in the way. Just yeah, I feel like they're kind of overdone. Mm, Trying to think what else. Tile countertops, the worst. If you notice, some of the homes we looked at today had tile countertops. Um, I am a solid surface countertop type of person. I like quartz, preferably. Um, Granite, I feel like it's just too porous. You can get stuff kind of stuck in all the little pores, so it's a little harder to clean. Beautiful because it's natural, and the inconsistency because it's natural. Um, and I usually, work with hot stuff sometimes, so something like a what was it, formica or laminate, it just kind of gets to the point of possibly melting for me. Um, but the other thing is, just like with granite, where you've got all those little pores, tile countertops, you've got all those joints, all those seams, and I feel like they just it gets dirty, discolored, fills up with junk. Um, it's not a smooth surface, so when you wipe it to clean it, you can't really clean it out very well. It's like little bits of sandpaper in there too, so like it just stuff gets stuck. Um, okay. Another question about like what are my favorite design trends? I love lighting. So anything that you have like under cabinet lighting. In my kitchen, I've also done lighting on the toe kick, so you get that glow on the floor. I think that's really cool. We're looking to redo our bathrooms, and same, like, I want to do that under the toe kick lighting. That way, like, in the middle of the night when you get up to go to the bathroom, you've got just a little bit of a glow so you can see where you're going. I think that's really cool. Um, I like modern with warm accents. So, like, our kitchen, super square. We've got big, long, black square handles for all the cabinets and doors, and the cabinets themselves are almost black, like they're a dark gray, like almost black gray, but they're not painted, they're stained, so you can see wood grain and you get a little bit of that warm wood colors coming through. But it's super dark, and then we offset that with almost a bright white countertop. It's got a little bit of veining through it. I think there's like a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple, some gray, some brown, um, but it's mostly white. It's just got some veins through it. Um, I think that is super pretty, super clean, super fresh. Um, sure, it may go out of style at some point, but I feel like it's pretty neutral that it likely is going to stick around for a while. Let's see, any other questions? Gosh, it's funny to watch how long the feed is delayed. Let's see if Google has any good questions for us today. Uh, real estate topics. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of an interesting one. So, talking about the market, we talked about a little bit about stats, median price, days on market. Um, what I'm hearing from a lot of folks is we're coming into kind of a normal market, which is weird to say. But the last 5 years, 6 years coming up on, we've been in COVID in Utah, in the world. But COVID made housing go crazy. It not only screeched to a halt because we obviously had to figure out how to socially distance, how to be safe, how to do all that, and still do real estate and move. People still had to move. Probably sucked because you couldn't have your whole family come help you, I'm sure, at some points. Um, so you had kind of that craziness that was unexpected. Then you had so much pent up demand that interest rates dropped, so people were just buying as quick as they could, sell by, moving right along. Prices were skyrocketing. I think the worst, and I say this is worst for the buyer, but for the seller it was amazing. The worst situation I think I ever heard of was the offer that the seller got for the home, and this wasn't like a big mansion or anything, but it was $100,000 above asking price cash. So they were going to pay the regular price, but then they were going to pay another $100,000 above anybody else's bid. That's hard to pass up. Like, that's a free $100,000. People were so desperate for those homes because, and this was like 5 days on market. Like, things were moving so fast. That kind of rebounded, and we had interest rates spike up to 7-8%. And now we've slowly kind of just drifted down, sitting here at high fives for interest rates. So when we say kind of coming back into a regular market, this is what the housing market kind of looked like before COVID. So we've been in kind of weird, tumultuous times for about 6 years now, and hopefully everything kind of mellows out and smooths out. But The other part of that, because interest rates are a touch lower, we're probably going to see more purchases, more sales, more transactions happening. Um, Going from 8% to 5%, things are so much more affordable now. The balance of that we have to watch though is as things are more affordable, more competition, which then drives prices up a little bit. So it's always kind of that balance of price and interest rate. If you're waiting for one or the other to change to meet something you kind of have in your mind, let's talk about like what that number is and what's the difference of what it looks like now. Again, no pressure, no sales pitch, but that may guide you to say, oh, well, if I wait for interest rates to come down to 5.5, 5.25, that's going to save me $20 a month on my payment or something, whatever it is. And if $20 a month savings is worth it for you, great. Like, do it. Wait till that interest rate drops down. But if $20 isn't that much in the grand scheme of a house payment, you're probably wasting your time to not move forward now and waiting for that interest rate to go down. Because the other piece you're losing out on is time in the market. Just like with stock markets, the longer you have something in there, it's going to appreciate and grow. And housing does that. You build equity. When we see those interest rates go down, your price is already going to go up. You're already going to gain equity that's probably going to offset that extra $20 a month for your entire loan payment just by doing it now. So there's a lot of things to kind of think about and consider. Again, no pressure, no sales pitch. Just want to provide information and a clear direction. Ultimately, you have to decide what's best for you and what direction you want to go. We are coming into probably our last 5 minutes. Live stream usually cuts off about the hour mark. Let's see what else we got here. Did you know there's a lot of new construction homes that you can buy for interest rates sometimes as low as like 4%? There are a lot of home builders that also have a branch of their business in lending. And they do that so that they can kind of partner up together, offer great rates, build good homes, and kind of get the business on both sides. So they're spreading that profit across. Whereas the traditional, you go buy a home and you go find a lender who you get a loan from. So they have to make a profit. They have to make a profit. Uh, Combining that together, they're able to offer some incentives. So yeah, there are new homes out there that offer you sometimes as low as 4% for an interest rate just for going with their lender. Um, Now with new construction, there's sometimes a little bit of wait. You've got to wait to get into something. There are oftentimes homes that are like ready and available to move into, but sometimes they still have to be built. They need that money to be able to buy it, to be able to let you move in. Um, but yeah, that's a great option. Um, we're obviously limited on where those new builds are because there's only so much land, and a lot of the new builds are further west. There are little pockets here and there. I know there was one last year in, what is that, kind of Midvale area, just off of I-15 and around 72nd South. These are great apartment condo type units. Um, they weren't super high end, but they had all the basic finishes. They had quartz countertops. They were a very comfortable home to live in, and I think they were priced as well, like high 300s, low 400s. So then match that with an interest rate that's even better. Like your your payment for a home is probably 2,200, 2,500, give or take. Sorry, my nose is itching today. Um, yeah, just a lot of opportunities. If you're wanting to get into something and your mortgage, if your rent is down around 2,000, that's starting to get a little harder to beat. Uh, Save your money, build it up. That way, when you've got something, you're ready to jump on it. Um, Real estate is really the like number one way to build wealth in Utah. And maybe that sounds like a sales pitch. Welcome to the my soapbox. I just think of for me, I have 4 properties, and it is amazing to see how much equity I have, and it's for me, it's my retirement. I'm not tapping into anything now, but um, how else would I have gained that additional money? Like, what else would have given me those kind of returns? Um, Homes in Utah usually double in value every 10 years. That's hard to do with any other type of investment. Even some of the best stocks. If you bought Tesla at the beginning or Netflix at the beginning, sure maybe, but most folks, they're not on that train. Um, the other part I think about when I think about housing and buying a home is you're kind of locking in or fixing your costs. Like you're getting this mortgage payment for 30 years. Sure, that seems like a long time. Um, and I'm not really a fan of the new 50-year stuff. That just means more interest to the mortgage companies, and it's going to cost people so much more money. That's the only option. Sometimes that works, and that's what it is. But try to refi soon and get into a better option where you can pay off principal faster. Um, I don't know. Just I think there's so many opportunities out there to really kind of lock in. Like if you think of your just rent, how much that goes up year over year. A lot of the projections, if you do like that 30-year projection, you're probably doubling, sometimes even tripling the rent payment if you were to stay in that same place for 30 years. Whereas if you buy, you're locked in for 30 years. Sure, you're going to have a little fluctuation with taxes, you're going to have a little fluctuation with homeowners insurance, but that's pennies compared to doubling and tripling. Maybe $100 more, maybe $200 more. That's going to be about it as far as the fluctuation goes. Um, so that kind of idea of I can't afford it, there's more to it than that, and I challenge you to think about all those other facets of it to make sure you're really answering that question. Is it worth it? Is it financially worth it for you? And everybody's situation is different. Um, I say that as kind of a blanket statement, but there are uh, everybody's situation is a little different. Okay, well, we're hitting the hour mark. If you think of any other questions, shoot me a DM, shoot me a text. I also have, you can book a coffee chat with me if you want to talk one on one, just on my website. And we can talk about, what numbers look like for you, what are options out there, or just get to know each other. Yeah, whatever works for you. Look forward to seeing you at one of my next events. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.